Well, it was a very dramatic time in American history. The country was divided along racial lines, and the evidence was divided. There was overwhelming evidence that might suggest that he did it, and then there was one piece of evidence that was tampered with, the sock that had his blood and the blood of the victim on it, and we were able to prove that the blood was poured by police officer Van Adder, and it contained a chemical in it that's found in test tubes, but not in the human body. And so the jury concluded that a very important piece of evidence was tampered with by the government, and that's the reason they acquitted. They didn't trust the rest of the evidence, and it really sent a very important message to police officers and prosecutors that if you tamper with evidence, even in a strong case, the jury is not going to believe you. The LAPD had a terrible reputation. It had a reputation for planting evidence. It had a reputation for racial discrimination. It had a reputation for being almost a Marine Corps. Some people called it an occupying army in the Black community. So the most important thing in the case was to pick a jury that would be understanding of that. And we picked a jury that consisted primarily of African Americans, and the prosecution was satisfied with the jury because it contained a number of Black women. And we had a jury expert who told us that Black women are more likely to identify as Blacks than as women. And the prosecution thought the opposite. And the verdict proved that we were probably correct in our assessment of the jury. But the most important piece of evidence was the framed piece of evidence, the sock with the blood on it that had a chemical in it, not found in the human body, but found in test tubes. So that was the reason, largely the reason for the acquittal. Well, it wasn't a dream team. It was a nightmare team. Everybody was fighting with each other. People were having very different views. There was great division about whether he should take the stand or not. I think I was the leading proponent of him not taking the stand, and F. Lee Bailey was the leading proponent of his taking the stand. And ultimately, it was the glove when he was able to go in front of the jury and show them that the glove didn't fit that led him to conclude, and he made the decision not to take the stand. In the civil case, he took the stand and was immediately found liable.